There's just so much.
You're listening to a Mamamia podcast.
Mamamia acknowledges the traditional owners of the land we have recorded this podcast on, the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation. We pay our respects to their elders, past and present, and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander cultures.
Hello and welcome to Cancelled, a podcast all about cancel culture, which Piers Morgan says robbed him of his voice, even though he's the dude who stormed off his own set and then into another high-paying job where he'd like you to know Meghan Markle is a fucking liar.
I'm Jessie Stevens, your co-host, and I have seen all through Sydney right near my house there's a big sign that says Piers Morgan Uncensored. And I'm like, okay, firstly, you were never censored.
No.
You walked off your own show because you know what? You worked yourself up. You got yourself into a tizzy and you stormed off your own show, at which point you were offered another deal. I missed the part where you were censored.
I keep thinking that's a big billboard for a censored man. It's very big. My name's Claire Stevens. I didn't introduce myself. The nature of this podcast is that I do all the work, the research, etc. And I'm joined by you, who gets to sit there and listen and make some comments.
Yes, exactly right. And we are fighting for the culture that allows Piers Morgan to call Meghan Markle an effing liar. This episode isn't about Piers Morgan, but we just need it on the record that Piers Morgan got rejected by a Meghan Markle friendship 15, 20 years ago, and he's never moved on from it. And now all he does, he's dedicated his journalistic career to being like, oh, she's a bitch.
And he advocates for freedom of speech, but then when he gets his speech, all he does is bitch about her?
Yeah.
Okay, today on the show, we're talking about another modest, humble man named Elon Musk.
In one of the biggest moves in tech history, Elon Musk is taking over Twitter. The deal will make the social media giant a privately owned company, and Musk says big changes are on the way.
I'd first like to share with you my vision for the future. I believe in a renewable energy future. I believe that humanity must become a multi-planetary space-faring civilization. Those seem like exciting goals, don't they? Now, I think if I just posted that on Twitter, I'd be fine.
Jessie, you know what I'm going to ask.
Okay.
What's his middle name? Go on, because Elon Musk is a really normal name.
Elon Musk. Give me the first letter.
Ah.
Oh, Roger.
No.
Ronan.
No.
Okay, one more guess and then you have to tell me.
Okay.
It's Rob.
No, it's Reeve.
Oh.
Because it's not going to be a standard name between
Elon Reeve Musk. Isn't he
Correct.
South African or something?
Correct. I think that's important, as always. Elon Musk is a 50-year-old entrepreneur and what's known as a business magnate. And I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means. I did go in preparation for this. I went and had a little look at his wiki bio.
Oh, that's nice and simple.
And there was a little story of Elon Musk's childhood.
Yeah.
And apparently when he was a child, he had some part of his ear removed because doctors suspected that he was deaf. But his mother later decided that he was too busy just thinking in another world. So he would silence everyone out. Have you heard that story about me as a kid?
Yeah. Mum thought you were deaf, but you were actually just not listening. Exactly. I would just ignore Mum, and she was so worried about my ability to ignore instruction that she took me to get my hearing tested. It's interesting that we
It's always been
interpret
perfect.
that as, you know, someone who's profoundly intelligent, has a rich inner world. It's also just really fucking rude.
It's really rude. In my family, they went, she's rude, we should work on it.
Yeah.
In Elon Musk's family, it was like he has a rich inner world.
Anyway, Elon Musk's work is focused on addressing the three biggest risks to the long-term survival of humanity.
Same.
Hard relate. Hard relate. The first is climate risk, which he's tackling with three of his companies, Tesla Motors, SolarCity, and the Boring Company.
Well, I recycle, so...
Great. You recycle badly, which all aim to accelerate the transition to clean electricity and electricity-powered transportation. The second risk to the long-term survival of humanity is single-planet dependency risk, which basically means that if humanity's survival is limited to only existing on Earth, we have a problem. It's only a matter of time before there's an asteroid.
I remember a few months ago, I had a real moment where I went, the white men who created a few issues here need to stop leaving and going to Mars.
I know.
Because there was a week where everyone was like, Jeff Bezos was like, I'm going to Mars. I was like, Amazon ruined this planet. Fix it. Don't take a poo on our planet, which is what Amazon did, and then get in a rocket ship and go to Mars.
Be like, I'm leaving.
Me to burn.
Yeah.
Well, I'm recycling.
And I'm buying things off Amazon because it's convenient.
It's so fast.
So Elon Musk founded SpaceX to revolutionize space transportation and ultimately make life multi-planetary.
Okay.
The third risk is human species obsolescence risk. And that's the fear that artificial intelligence will make human beings obsolete. So Musk co-founded a not-for-profit called OpenAI to develop friendly AI and to share techniques for keeping AI safe and basically prevent powerful groups from using it for evil. So this guy has gone, when lots of us think about what we're going to do for a career, we go, what do we find fun?
Yeah.
Or how can I make the world a better place? Okay?
For my patch, for my community. You know how they say, think globally, act locally?
Yeah.
He's like, think globally, act
in a multi-planetary way. So he has gone, what are the biggest threats to humanity? I won't tackle one of them.
I'll do all
I'll
of them.
tackle all of them.
I don't agree that rude AI is one of our biggest
Not
crises.
rude AI.
Oh.
This is a weird episode of Cancelled because it feels very silly being like he posted something annoying on Twitter when the man is focused on the future of humanity. But that's what we're here for.
It feels narcissistic.
It does. A few disclaimers. As is the policy of this show, I have covered what I personally am interested in and where my instincts and Google searches have taken me. You cannot question me. That is the way that it is. Secondly, everything about Elon Musk is a bit confusing because space and, relatedly, electricity.
And billions of dollars.
Yeah.
Because I panic when I think about Elon because I go, where's your money? Where's it sitting?
Just a footnote that Musk is the richest man on Earth. Jessie, how much do you think he's worth?
A few bill.
A few bill?
A few bill.
Like how much? Like
$6.
$6 bill.
Oh, I don't know. So that's like a lot.
268 billion. It's really gone up a lot in the last few years.
Has it?
Yeah.
That stresses me out. I worry. I worry about getting too rich. This has often been a concern of mine because managing your own money then becomes a full-time job, which isn't one I ever want. So I'm very careful with my earning capacity. When I start to get to that tail end of wealth management, I go, let's reel it back in.
Yeah, too much. Jessie, I'm going to assign you the personality of a tech bro for the purposes of this conversation because in order to have this fairly, we need a tech bro.
Okay.
Your name is Jaden. Mm-hmm. You're going to defend Musk and also just be weirdly interested in his endeavours. You wear cargo pants and a lanyard even when you're not at work.
Do I have body odour?
Yes.
Okay.
You wear your work shirt out and about.
Yeah.
You know a lot about Teslas, but you probably don't have a license.
So true.
Your Tinder profile says, don't message me if you own an iPhone.
Oh, Android user.
And you consider yourself a professional devil's advocate. My structure is as follows. The time Elon Musk spent so much time on Twitter, he actually bought it. The time he said he'd save world hunger and then couldn't be fucked. His Thai cave moment. Amber Heard. Grimes.
These are explicitly the only things me as Jessie Stevens, not me as Jaden, are interested in.
Exactly.
When I contacted you about 3 hours ago and I said if you do not include Amber Heard and the allegations that her baby daddy is Elon Musk, I refuse to sit down. Jaden doesn't care, but Jessie does. Yeah.
But you're Jaden now, so put on your smelly T-shirt.
Okay.
Starting with Twitter. In April of this year, Elon Musk bought Twitter for $44 billion. In his statement announcing the purchase, Musk said, "Free speech is the bedrock of a functioning democracy, and Twitter is the digital town square where matters vital to the future of humanity are debated." I fundamentally disagree with that assertion. If this is a town square, I don't want to live there. It's also the kind of town square where we hang people without a trial. Not my kind of town square.
No. We have an account. We do not tweet. We exclusively stalk people.
I am all for Elon Musk bombing the town square if he so is inclined.
So he said that it's basically he's a champion of free speech. That's why he's taken over
In
Twitter.
terms of what Musk will do with Twitter, this is the vibe. He's going to loosen up content rules in the name of free speech.
I've heard he's going to let Donald Trump back.
There's no confirmation. He hasn't said that. And Donald Trump has said, even if I'm allowed my account back, I won't go back because he's on another platform no one's heard of called Truth Revolt or something.
Okay.
So Elon Musk has said, if in doubt, you let the tweet exist.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to create an edit button so users can change tweets because that exists on Instagram and Facebook. It doesn't exist on Twitter. He wants to open up Twitter's algorithm to the public, which I've got in my notes. Sir, that's interesting for you and precisely no one else. I don't care.
I don't care.
He wants to launch a war on bots.
Okay.
There is a real war. I don't know if the bots are our biggest enemy. He wants to scrap advertisements and potentially have a subscription model. But I think no one would subscribe
would pay for
to
Twitter.
Twitter other than Elon, who just subscribed for 44 million. Who paid a lot for a subscription fee. There is a concern that by taking Twitter private, so him buying it, means that there's going to be less transparency over finances as well as the use of collected information. There's also just the fact that the world's richest man now owns one of the world's biggest social media sites, and what's he going to do with it?
I mean, don't rich men own all social
They
media?
do.
Yeah.
Jeff Bezos owns
That
Washington Post. or
ship
whatever.
has sailed.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, if this was an issue, we should have brought it up a while ago. But people do seem to be using Elon Musk's Twitter persona to make a judgment on how he'd go running Twitter. So his
persona is troll.
He is a absolute troll. He is like a brash billionaire who doesn't care about offending people. He's tweeted a lot of COVID misinformation.
The world needs more of that.
Definitely. He tweeted, coronavirus panic is dumb, and he predicted that cases would get to zero when surprisingly they did not. He also ordered Tesla workers back to work amid the lockdown in California, which people are like, he should literally be arrested for that. And he will post about that on Twitter. A lot of what we're going to talk about today has gone down on Twitter, including the time he said he'd end world hunger and then couldn't be fucked. Jessie, I need you to read a tweet.
Here we go. This is from pronoun Pussy Popper. Friendly reminder that Elon Musk told the UN that if they gave him a budgeted breakdown of how $6 billion could end world hunger, he would do it. They gave him the budget and then he decided not to do it, and instead he would buy Twitter for $45 billion.
Correct. I mean, it was 44. It was 44, it wasn't 45. But question is that true? It's a big allegation for the Cancelled Courtroom. Last year, the director of the UN's World Food Programme told CNN that it would only take $6 billion to help 42 million people that are literally going to die, and that billionaires need to step up now on a one-time basis.
Love that.
And CNN, in the article where they reported it, were like, well, $6 billion is only about 2% of Elon Musk's worth as the richest man alive. Because he's very online, Musk responded. Jessie, please read his tweet.
He responded, if the World Food Programme can describe on this Twitter thread exactly how $6 billion will solve world hunger, I will sell Tesla stock right now and do it. Full stop. This only got 33,000 likes. I feel like it should have got more.
But also, I think the demand for tell me how to solve world hunger in the next tweet.
And I'll transfer you like that.
It's a lot. But this is where nuance comes in. And it's yuck and boring. And it's not fun for Twitter.
All I want to know is if you transferred the $6 mil.
Yes and no. So the World Food Programme never said that $6 billion would end world hunger. They said it would help solve it. And David Beasley, who's the director, clarified that money would prevent geopolitical instability, mass migration.
Are we feeding all the hungry people?
And it's just, so basically this David guy responded with 8 tweets. And it's like, sir,
no,
too many.
No, I needed one.
Elon was clear he needed one. He's a busy man. He's running a lot of companies.
No, okay, you can have 2 tweets.
You can have two.
Okay, and one is explaining, and the second one is your bank details.
Yes.
Okay.
And so this David guy said the money would scale up the World Food Programme.
no,
I'm not
I
here
don't
for
know.
scaling
No.
your business. Are you feeding people? Just like all I needed was it'll take $30 to feed these people. Some basic maths. But he complicated it. Because world hunger turns out complicated issue.
Yeah, that's why people get annoyed.
Now, there hasn't been any word on whether Musk is intending on donating this money or if he's still mulling over the issue. However, he has taken $5.75 billion and put it in a holding account, which people often do before giving it to philanthropic causes. So it is more than possible that he's planning on donating that money. But
What's taking so long? You know how sometimes you go to do something in your account, like transfer $400 and it's like you've exceeded your limit? Like maybe that's what's happened to him.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like you have to wait a few days.
That's exactly right.
And this is what I said about him being like it being really stressful to have that much money because you don't know where it is. So maybe he's just been looking for it.
He's looking under the bed. He's looking in the wallet. But I will say it's weird that people think that for Musk it was a choice between buying Twitter or solving world hunger because the man can do both with his money. So it's not an either-or situation. I will also say Musk isn't a philanthropist in the realm of his billionaire peers. He's not known for his philanthropy. He's been quite open with the fact that donating your money to change the world is harder than it looks. He does seem to think that he is saving his money to build a city on Mars.
Another thing that you are talking about is you sincerely think that we should go to Mars. Like, why do we want to go to Mars? It's uninhabitable.
It's very inhospitable, that's true.
It is. Like, you have to be in, like, domes and everything, and you're just breathing.
Initially domes. At first, you're going to have to live in transparent domes, but eventually...
Yes, we're going to be huffing each other's stank.
Yeah, but eventually you can transform Mars into an Earth-like planet.
Is that the best thing?
Do with that what you will.
Okay, well, all I'm saying is that I was walking recently and I saw a sign and it said you can donate to this website to wash homeless people's clothes. Okay. And I was like, oh, it's great. So I donated, what I had to this organisation.
You so wanted to share this story. Go on, keep going.
I have told everyone. I got home and I said, and I couldn't bring it up straight away. So over dinner, I was like, I'm just sorting out my bank account because I transferred all this money to charity just on my walk. And then I called my mum and I was like, speaking of the homeless, you'll notice they're looking really clean. I cleaned all their clothes by hand. I was like, how'd you do that? I was like, well, I donated $20. And that's the thing about donating money. So you get to talk about it a lot. Maybe Elon Musk doesn't know yet.
Yeah, that's the point. So as Jaden, putting on your smelly shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Your smelly computer shirt.
Yeah.
Would you defend Elon Musk in the fact that he maybe got a little bit distracted about the world hunger issue?
Okay. What I'm thinking is that to tech bros, ideas on Twitter are to tech bros what food is to the hungry.
Okay, yeah.
So I think Twitter is more important because free speech, intellectualism, discussions.
They're like, how
trolling.
are we going to solve world hunger without Twitter? And it's like the people who are starving don't have Twitter. Most people don't have Twitter.
Everyone hates Twitter. And so in that way, I think that Twitter is that much more important than feeding the hungry. And, I had a tech bro explain to me once, I'll never forget this, that this was natural selection.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
I had a tech bro. I remember him. He was the most awful person. And he said, this is natural selection. If there's a famine in Ethiopia, we can't go interfering there. And I was like, what if there's a famine in bloody the North Shore where you live, mate? And he was like, well, then in that case, people better donate.
That'd be different. Anywho, let me get on my yacht. What? Okay. Thank you, problematic tech bro.
That's okay.
Now, the Thai cave moment.
The Thai military, allied with an international team of volunteers, searching until the lost boys were found and daringly rescued in remote mountains in northern Thailand.
In 2018, 12 boys and their football coach were rescued from a flooded cave in North Thailand after 18 days. The boys were saved by an international team and a complex operation that was very risky. Elon Musk's company Tesla had built a mini sub to assist the rescue, and it was turned down. One of the rescuers, a British man named Vernon Unsworth, you'd know his face.
Yeah, he was one of the first to actually find the boys after 12 days or whatever, right?
Correct. And he was one of the first on the ground when it was happening. He had said it just had absolutely no chance of working. He had no conception of what the cave passage was like. The submarine, I believe, was about 5 feet 6 inches long, rigid, so it wouldn't have gone round corners or round any obstacles. Apparently Musk had been to the cave himself, and Unsworth said he was asked to leave very quickly. Unsworth said Musk had done the whole thing as a publicity stunt and that he could stick his submarine where it hurt.
I remember at the time Elon Musk being incredibly distracting. Everyone was on the ground shoveling mud trying to get these boys out of a cave, and Elon Musk was like, well, SpaceX has been working on a little piece of technology, and everyone was like, we don't care. And he was like, you want me to make a rocket? No. No rocket in the cave.
No.
And then he was like, I've also got a ship, a car. You can't drive into the cave.
No, sir.
Elon.
You're in Silicon Valley and you're incredibly far removed from this entire situation. Look, I will say though, this Vernon guy, it was a weird reaction towards someone who was trying to help. Elon Musk,
I get it.
Annoying, but ultimately he's trying to help. But I feel like Vernon, in his defense, was very tired and stressed from
He hadn't slept
diving.
and he was doing a lot of diving and a lot of saving people's lives, and Elon was trying to get attention for helping when in fact he was being counterproductive.
I agree. After the rescue, Musk said he would make a video proving his mini sub would have worked.
That doesn't need to happen. This is why that guy got so pissed off. Because he was going, we don't need your sub, we didn't need your sub, we've done the saving. And he's like, you would have saved him more with my sub. Well, they're all alive.
They're fine.
Okay,
They're
so
really
if you want
alive.
to go and make a donation to the town, great. But as we know, he has bank transfer issues. So instead, he's got to go, oh, look at how my submarine would have... This situation, Elon, with all due respect, is not going to happen again.
So we don't mean to say you wasted your time.
But you absolutely wasted your time.
Then Elon Musk added, and again on Twitter, sorry, pedo guy, you really did ask for it. That was directed at Vernon. So he's called a man a pedo, a man who just rescued many children.
Is there any evidence that he was a pedo?
No.
All right.
No. Although Musk did say, people were like, it's weird that you're calling a guy who just rescued a bunch of innocent children a pedo, and Musk responded, bet ya a signed dollar it's true. That's his evidence. Vernon Unsworth sued Musk for defamation for $190 million.
Didn't Musk literally say, he goes, interesting he's not suing me. Basically, it's an admission of he knows he is a pedophile. And then this guy went, okay, I am going to sue you.
I think Musk said, interesting he's not suing me, and then literally hours later it came out that it was being processed.
Right.
So he was very much suing it.
He
just hadn't
baited
been
this
out.
guy to sue him, though.
Yeah.
This guy with no money
Yeah.
who had spent the last 7 days of his life saving
In
the
a cave.
lives of 12 boys and their soccer coach for nothing in it for him.
Leave the man alone.
Leave
the man
that
alone.
man alone.
But Musk said the term pedo guy was common in South Africa where he grew up and had nothing to do with being a pedophile.
No, it's not.
Vernon Unsworth lost the defamation case. So
The judge said, I'm not here to assess insults and decide what insults are illegal. I understand the judge was like, this is a waste of my time. But I also think that poor man
was
lost.
like, the world thinks I'm a pedo.
Can you help? And I've also spent a lot of money on this case. And I haven't slept. I'm still wet from the cave. I haven't taken my gear off. And I was called a pedo while underwater in the dark,
While
saving this
rescuing
poor boy.
Young boys for no monetary
When
gain.
Elon is like, look at my sub. No one...
No one particularly cares about your sub that definitively didn't rescue anyone. But speaking of court, Amber Heard. In the current UK libel court battle, Johnny Depp has accused Elon Musk of having an affair with Amber Heard while she was still married to Depp. Court documents allege that Musk had a three-way affair
With Cara Delevingne
With
and
Heard
Amber Heard.
and Cara Delevingne.
Have you seen the footage in the lift?
Oh, I seen footage. I thought that
James
was
Franco.
Oh, yeah, I thought that was James Franco.
Yeah, no, there is other footage, I believe, of Elon Musk also in the lift.
Okay.
And apparently, I mean, it's hearsay, but Elon Musk, Cara Delevingne, Amber Heard trying to get up in the lift, apparently they were like pretty drunk or whatever, so they had to take the stairs.
Okay.
It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing.
Well,
and you
Musk-
know that Amber Heard's baby is Elon's.
Well. So firstly, very important to stipulate, Musk has denied the threesome. And he's also denied that he was with Amber before. He's like, no, I was only with Amber once her divorce was being finalised. There are rumours. I don't think they're published on the internet. And that's when you got to think, am I allowed to say this on a podcast? But
Okay.
there is a rumour that Amber Heard's baby is Elon Musk's.
what do you call it when you put your egg and your spermie together and then you make an embryo? You make an embryo.
Yeah.
And apparently she had those embryos with Elon, and Elon was like, now don't you go sticking that up here. And she was like,
I would never.
I will.
Well, not up her. It was a surrogate.
Oh, surrogate. Don't stick that up. Her, pointing to someone. And she did. And apparently it's Elon Musk's little baby.
The timeline checks out. And Elon Musk does seem to be a fan of IVF, embryo things.
Mm-hmm. He's done it before, hasn't he?
He has. He has 7 children.
Yeah, like triplets and twins and...
Yep.
Yeah.
He has many children, and one of them may or may not be Amber Heard's. Meanwhile, Musk was about to commit other crimes you need a different courtroom for.
Okay.
And that's naming your children very weird things. Moving on to Grimes as a theme. As I said...
What is Grimes?
She's a singer and musician. She's really... You know the song.
What?
We need to talk about his 2 children with Grimes and their names.
Is he still with Grimes?
It's fluid, Jessie. But no. But, yes. But Grimes did this interview with Vanity Fair, and this journalist was there, and she's just sitting there, and then she can hear a baby crying upstairs, and Grimes is trying to ignore it, and then eventually she has to be like, I do have another child. It was really strange.
Wait, so no one knew she had that other child?
No, that was confessed in that interview, where she then had to say what the baby's name was, which was another issue. Jessie, the son, born in May 2020. I'm going to need you to pronounce this name just right here.
XA12.
So you're going silent on the AE.
Well, an AE would be A. So AX, that other A. XA12.
Great.
What's its name?
Well, Grimes pronounces it XAI Archangel.
What?
Or X for short. Because they did have to change it because the AE symbol thing and the 12 are not legal English letters. So they couldn't name the baby that in California. So they did change it to XAI Archangel. Then in December 2021, they welcomed a daughter via surrogate. Jessie, how would you pronounce this lovely name?
They did it again, Claire. They did the symbol again. Didn't they learn? Exadark Sideral Musk.
Beautiful.
Is that it?
Well, she calls the baby Y.
What? But there's not even a Y in there.
There's not. But she calls that baby
So she
Y.
has X and Y.
But it's also pronounced Exadark Sideral.
So wanky. And it is assault to primary school teachers.
I know. It's very unfair. Grimes and Elon Musk are very on again, off again. And there's a rumour that Grimes almost died during her first birth, which we know is true, and Musk wasn't very supportive or helpful. There's actually a Reddit post that people think was Grimes asking for help. I have to talk about this. So, Jessie, we spend a weird amount of time on Reddit.
Yep.
And, you know, relationship advice?
Yeah.
That subreddit.
Okay. Is it like I, and then in brackets it's got the age?
Yeah.
And with a tech bro, and then in brackets male 50.
Correct. The title of the post is my, in brackets, 31-year-old female, boyfriend, in brackets, 49-year-old male, convinced me that we need to stop talking to my mum. I figured out why and it's messing me up. Now,
why would this be Grimes?
Because there are a lot
anyone.
of parallels to Elon Musk and Grimes. For example, the poster claims that her boyfriend refused to take her to hospital and called her dramatic while she was suffering through a difficult pregnancy. Grimes did ultimately share publicly that she had a near-death experience while pregnant with X and said the complications during that pregnancy made her choose surrogacy for her second baby. In the Reddit post, the poster also mentions that the baby was born on Star Wars Day and Grimes and Musk's son was born on May 4. In that Reddit post, here are some other details. The person who posted it, who may or may not be Grimes.
It's not Grimes.
He told me, so about her mother. He told me that she was being toxic and trying to meddle in our relationship.
My boyfriend just dropped $44 billion on an undisclosed company.
He also happens to be the richest person in the world. Okay. She overheard her partner calling her useless.
Oh, this is every woman.
And he snapped at me that my mum had filled my head with feminist garbage my whole life, and that was why I was weak and couldn't handle something women have been doing for thousands of years.
That's just
Come on,
every
that's
woman
just
being
a
emotionally
post.
abused.
That's just a silly
Reddit
post on Reddit. But
Then Elon at Musk replied, "Shut up, stupid bitch."
no.
Okay.
But after the birth, Elon tweeted, "Take the red pill." And taking the red pill is a reference to the Matrix, where the meaning is choosing to see the truth. But then it got taken over by men's rights activists that think the truth is that white men are under attack.
He's a bit kind of men's rights activist-y, isn't he?
He is.
Just in his look. I don't know if he's ever said anything about it, but just in his
tries
look.
to make it vague.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So anyway, Grimes' mum, Sandy Garasino, wrote, "If your partner went through a challenging pregnancy and childbirth in the last 2 weeks and you were over 16 years old, would you be blaring MRA bullshit on Twitter right now?"
Where did she write that?
On Twitter. So she has called him out and then
Yep.
she deleted it.
Okay.
But she bloody
did
posted
she
it.
delete it or did Elon?
Yeah, great question. But there's some stuff going on there,
There is.
that backs up the Reddit post.
Claire, that Reddit post is completely fucking random. It's the worst evidence anyone's ever brought. You can't just go into a courtroom and be like, "I found an Ask Reddit
I'm going to
that
confront
said, should I break
people-
up with my boyfriend? I think that it's her." Like, why?
I'm going to confront people with random posts I found on Reddit
Yeah.
and ask if it's them. And then every time they say, "No, but that detail's wrong," I say, "You changed on purpose to make it seem like it
It's a
wasn't you when
decoy.
it is." Finally, I just want to discuss a few redeeming factors because I do feel like we've got to get into that. And
Okay.
Jaden, you may or may not have things to add. Musk provided all of Ukraine with free Starlink access, which is free internet access.
Oh, I thought it was like access to a rocket ship.
I mean, maybe he's working on that. But Zelensky personally thanked him, and they're like in conversations about what Musk can do to
genuinely
help.
helpful.
I do think it's interesting. People are incredibly, incredibly critical of him, and he says some wild stuff on Twitter. But I do think it does feel weird to be like, he tweeted this annoying thing that upset me. Meanwhile, he's providing an entire country that's currently being invaded with internet access, which has really helped mobilize the world.
And important
to
for
care.
democracy.
Yeah.
I do think, there's two sides, right, to all of it, because even people will say with Tesla, apparently Tesla last financial year paid no tax. So there are people saying that in terms of if you want to talk about the most pressing issues, yes, climate change, there are questions about going to another planet, but let's talk about wealth distribution and living below the poverty line and the amount of wealth that man has.
I saw an interesting line in my research that was like, do you make $268 billion or do you take $268 billion?
From workers that, you might not be paying exceptionally well and they're fainting on the floor and stuff, which is a bit. I also read this when I scanned the Wikipedia bio. Elon Musk's father, Errol once said, "We had so much money at times we couldn't even close our safe." And there is apparently research that has been done that if you point to any billionaire, their parents were, they weren't billionaires, they were millionaires. There is no such thing as a self-made billionaire.
And there are a lot of people who say he was just in the right place at the right time, which I don't necessarily, I think that's pretty reductive of his achievements. But his companies, in terms of what he's doing for the market, like the electric cars, he's basically saying the idea isn't for everybody to drive a Tesla. They can only make so many, manufacture so many.
And there are $160,000 a car.
Yeah, that too. But his thing is, if the market changes and people want this, other companies are going to start.
And it's going to get more and more competitive.
Exactly. So I do think there's some pretty amazing stuff that he's doing. He runs a company that, or his cousin runs it and he funds it or something, that do the most solar panels in the United States. There's something to be said for the difference that they're making. And what people think he stands for and what he does in terms of his actions are quite different. Because if you're looking at somebody who's fighting for the climate, fighting for, he wants space travel to be a bit more fucking affordable or accessible or whatever, but then everybody would think he's a right-wing lunatic.
Yeah. Yeah, from what he says, exactly right.
But look, he's an egomaniac and I don't think you probably get to be the world's richest man
without being that. I love when we see billionaires and we go, oh, he's worth this many billion. And we go, oh, he seems a bit greedy. Yeah.
He seems arrogant.
He seems arrogant.
He seems to think he can solve every
the
problem.
man who thinks he's going to lead us to Mars is a little bit self-assured. He's self-important.
And annoying.
Okay, charges and sentences for Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Claire, would you like to go first?
Yes, and I would again like to state this is not a real courtroom. This is a fun courtroom.
Yeah.
So we're not looking
Billionaires don't go to real courtrooms.
Yeah.
Or if they do, it is exclusively to win.
Yeah.
So we couldn't really take it too far because he would sue us.
Yeah. My charge. And this is really specific and like we haven't really talked about it that much, but this is what I clung to. Making me feel like I'm going to have to move to Mars.
So true.
And I don't want to. I'm quite comfortable here.
I don't want to go to Mars either, and I really don't like rocket ships, and I feel like you're not allowed to say that anymore.
I don't want to go to space. It scares me.
Yeah.
The stars, the atmosphere, the universe.
It's too long.
And
The trip's too long, and also I think you have to go really fast.
Yeah. And related to that charge, making me feel inadequate because one day last week I solely watched an entire season of Bridgerton.
And you hated it.
Yeah, when he was running one of his 18 businesses.
Okay.
Sentence. Make Mars a vibe. I want a party bus that takes us there. I feel like I personally need to be assured that when I go to Mars, it will be fun. I'm talking restaurants. I'm
Claire,
talking animals.
I'm sorry, I've got to interrupt you. I don't think you're invited. This is the thing. This is why it's not appealing to you. Because you're not invited to Mars. Neither are most of us. It's Elon. It's Jeff.
I don't know
It's
if Elon
Mark.
would invite Jeff.
Jeff has his own rocket ship. I can't with you.
He does.
I can't.
Okay.
He's been going back and forth. You're not invited. That's why it's not appealing to you. There's no marketing campaign to get Claire Stevens to space
I'm just
because you're not
saying-
offering anything. All you do is watch Bridgerton.
Saying I might save up. Instead of buying a house, I might buy a ticket to Mars if there was a guarantee of vibes. And I think
There's not going to be a vibe. It's just tech dudes.
And I think it will be tech dudes. But in terms of animals, and as you were saying earlier, koalas who are struggling, it would be nice if, like Noah's Ark, he went, well, not Noah's Ark because he brings all of them. There are entire rocket ships full of koalas that go, I know you like your eucalyptus trees. I've planted
Some
here.
more.
I
We
know
could just
it's
fix
strange.
this one.
Yeah, we can fix this one. So I want activities. And basically, I think he needs better marketing for Mars.
Okay, well said.
That's my sentence.
My charge is being a billionaire.
Okay. Guilty.
And guilty.
Guilty 268 times over.
Exactly. And this is the thing about being a billionaire. As we established, you've got to be a bit egotistical, you've got to be a bit greedy, a bit exploitative. No one's getting there through ethical labour practices, right? So my sentence. The UN sent you an email. The UN said to Elon, sorted out the 6 bill situation. Here's a breakdown. I think they probably sent it as an invoice. And they said, this is where your money would go, blah, blah, blah. Elon, as previously discussed, has not replied to that email.
No.
Elon Musk needs to be transparent releasing the funds.
Okay.
That's my sentence. It needs to be sent.
I wonder, like, proportionally, the amount of money Elon Musk would be spending to go a very tangible step towards solving world hunger proportionally is probably the same as, like, me buying a flight to Europe in terms of how much I have / earn.
Exactly. Like, just do, like, it doesn't solve world hunger, you know, nothing off your back. You know?
Yeah.
Like, if Elon, just transfer it. Oh, it didn't work? Well, okay. I'll just spend another 6 bill. Like, it's
Yeah.
fine. Just do it. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Cancelled. We will be back next week on the Twins Thoughts Instagram account, which is our little Instagram account. We are going to have all our Elon Musk receipts.
We'll have tweets. we'll have all kinds of evidence.
And maybe we'll have a tech bro outfit that we find on like
yeah.
Google.
Yeah, that's like, this is what you wear if you're a tech bro.
Exactly. The producer of Cancelled is Rose Kerr, and the head of podcasts at Mamamia is Eliza Ratliff. If you're looking for another podcast to listen to, then can we suggest you try What Are You Wearing? It's a podcast all about fashion, feeling good, and expressing yourself. The hosts are Denny and Tam, and they are joined by special guest and Mamamia podcast host, M, where they shared their experiences of trying to break in to high heels, which is something we can all relate to. Take a listen.
Okay, I made a huge mistake once with heels.
Hit me.
I put numbing cream.
Okay, so someone told me that this
on
is a
your
good
foot?
thing.
I couldn't walk. I put too much. I couldn't feel anything. I couldn't. I sat down.
Okay, so last week.
You just like fell over like while
I was
walking?
on. If you're Indian, you would know this. I went to one of these Anglo-Indian family dances when I was younger, and I was like, "This is my first time my mum allowed me to wear heels."
Yep.
So I just like lathered on the numbing cream because the shoe was too big for me, but I wanted to wear them. And then I was just like, no, I won't dance. I'll just sit here.
Oh,
That's because I couldn't walk.
You couldn't feel your feet?
I couldn't feel anything.
Wow.
Find What Are You Wearing in your favourite podcast app. And we will chat to you next week. Bye.
Bye.